Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Housewives Tea. Uh, uh, I've been, like I said in my last two videos, I've been kind of feeling a little bad, but I feel better. But this was a rough week for me because I had an annual checkup, and so I'm trying to get back on my videos. So I'm trying to do something. This is the first time I did a video on a Friday, but anyway, this is the Housewives Tea. In this episode, in this video of Housewives Tea, I'll be talking about Shamea's apology after the reunion. Also, we're talking about with Eddie putting out pictures after the reunion of what she would have worn. Also going to talk about how the designer of that purse that Drew had came out and defended Drew. How Drew was talking about Shamea's apology on Claudia Jordan's podcast with a co-host accidentally informed. Those are just some of the topics that I'll be talking about on this Housewives T video. First, I'm going to talk about, Beyonce been having that Cowboy Carter tour, and it finally ended last week in Las Vegas. But before that, when she came to Atlanta, she had some of the Atlanta housewives coming there, and Candy had been posting on her YouTube page that she was going, and she invited some friends. And next thing you know, they showed pictures of Candace and her mama going there with their friends. And I have a picture of Candace and her mom and her friends meeting up with Candy and stuff like that. And also, Drew was at the last Cowboy Carter tour in Las Vegas. Uh, and so she met up with one of the guys from somehow. I'll put that in the video. I'll put that in the video as well. But I'm gonna talk about Shamea's apology. I saw little clips of it online right after the right after right after reunion part three, and I said, "Well, I was saying, what is this? What is this? What's Shamea doing? What happened?" And so she got on there, and I looked at it, and she was apologizing to the cast and the crew and everybody for the way she acted and reacted, and especially the cast, and especially the cast, all the ladies on the cast, including Britt, Eddie. But the main reason, but to me, the main one she really wanted to apologize was to his Portia. She kept bringing up Portia name, Portia. And then she also, if I offended any of you, including Drew and Kelly and anybody I offended and stuff like that. And then when she said how she offended Drew, and then somebody asked her in the background saying, "Well, even though Drew told you the purse was a real was the real was a real Lieberman purse, and even the designer came out and said it was one of theirs from their collection. Why did you still not believe Drew?" Well, Drew lied so much up. And I'm saying, girl, that was the most fakest apology. How you gonna apologize to somebody? And then instead of you saying, "Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was like that." The first thing came out of your mind was Drew lied so much, so I didn't know if she was lying about the person. And it was like, Shamia, this is not a good apology. And it wasn't a good look. Everybody who saw it, and everybody who saw it, and the next morning, that Monday, all the blogs picked it up, and everybody was saying that was not a good apology. And she said that the aunties and the elders came to her and told her that she needed to do that, she needed to do that, apologize and stuff. I think she got it both ways. I think Andy was throwing hints at her at the reunion, telling her going forward how she should act. And then also people was telling also her mama and stuff and them was telling her that don't worry about these people, these haters and these people don't like her. She has God's favor and she's in this and she deserved to be on the show and she deserved this and I was saying, yeah, of course you do, Shamia, but nobody was saying that you didn't deserve to be on the show. We were saying that you didn't show your true full story, and then you didn't hold Portia accountable for the stuff that she did, but you was going at Drew and everybody else. So that's what people was kind of giving Shamia the pushback on. And now I'm not like some people. Shamia deserved to be there. I'm glad that Shamea is going to be there for a second season. She does deserve to be there, but that apology was a weak apology. And Drew happened to get on Claudia Jordan's podcast, and because Claudia said that her and Drew was going to be in a movie together, and they was talking about that too, and how the movie was supposed to come out. And then the other co-host said, "Well, Drew, what do you think about Shamea's apology? That was an apology." And she said, "No, to me that wasn't an apology. That was a fake apology." She said the elders told her to apologize, but she should have kept that. She said she's gonna apologize to me and then call me a liar. And I said, "Drew, you right about that. That wasn't no apology. That wasn't no apology at all." And so that's what happened on that. And then, like I said, I think it's right after reunion part two, Drew Eddie came out and put on some pictures about how she would have looked at the reunion and stuff. Because 2 weeks ago, I think right after the part one, Kenya had put out what she would have wore if they would have invited her. And so it was like Britt Eddie looked so pretty. And they did it. I got offline. I think it was either Instagram or Twitter where they showed one picture was black and white. And I think I got the second picture from the neighborhood talk or somebody she had. And when I saw it in color, she had that pretty gold dress on. And I was saying, no matter what you think about that lady was a very pretty lady and a beautiful lady and stuff like that. And I hate to say it, but Kenya might have been a little bit jealous of that woman and had some insecurities about herself, about that woman, because when she showed that gold dress on and all that stuff there, you could tell that she was right about her tagline where she might be pretty and a little petty. She was right about the pretty part and stuff like that. And so, on another note, I did see the trailer for the Real House. I mean, for the Real Housewives of London. I don't know if they're going to be showing it in the United States. I know they're showing on something called Haya. I think it's a streaming service. But anyway, the trailer looks good. And then they did show a little part when they had Caroline Stansbury from Dubai on there. And then I did see that about 2 weeks later they said Lisa Milan was in London for something, so I don't know if she was doing a cameo either. But either way, I did like it. And speaking on the Housewives, I did see a little bit of the one. I think a little bit of the one about the one in I think it's Yorkshire or something like that. I can't remember. I saw a little bit of clip of that one too. Uh, also, um, also on another note, they had showed us some pictures of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City at the Culturist Awards last week. First, they showed the picture of Angie and Angie and Mary with a fan, and then they showed some other pictures when they were arriving, and then showed the picture of Mary and Angie, and Angie had on this pretty red dress that was sleeveless, and Mary had on kind of like a long red dress with a little like a hood on the back of it. She looked real good in that dress, and people were saying, "Could nobody wear that dress except for Mary? Because everybody else wouldn't look good in it." And then they showed Mary sitting down with Broadwin at the thing, and then they also showed all the ladies standing up together, and they said something about Angie got some kind of speech award for what she said about the whole body count thing. And I know the YouTuber, I think it was YouTuber talked about it on this thing. He said that wasn't no cultural thing. But what they had, it was just like another award show. But anyway, I have pictures of that. And then and then I think that's all I have for this. I think that's no, one more thing. They were saying something about it was rumored that K Michelle and Pinky and I think her name Pinky Evans or Pinky something was supposed to be rumored to be filming for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I was saying K Michelle should be on there from the way she acted on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And so now she just recently got married. So it was like a 50-50 thing. And her name was Pinky Cole. That's what it was. Instead of Evans, it just came back to my memory. And so I was saying, I don't know too much about Pinky Cole. I said I heard a couple of stories about her restaurants and stuff. She do the the vegan restaurant. I think Nene had on one of her shows. Maybe I'll go back and look at it. But I was saying I don't know, maybe her and then when K Michelle came out this past weekend, and I'll do a separate video on K Michelle talking about Rashida, making a song about Rashida, and so and so like I said, this will be a part two. This is part one of Housewives Tea, and I'll do part two on the next one. That's all I have for this video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. I am out.